Hello, hi everyone. My name is Sonali Dutta Banerjee, and I have been in the industry for almost 21 plus years. I specialize on executive coaching, leadership training, and also on HR consulting. The purpose of this entire journey of sharing various episodes and talking about various leadership aspects is to acquaint and make more people aware that each one of us are leaders in some way or the other. This actually, the first time we discussed about this topic, leadership demystified, the first thought that came to my mind was when Amir Khan in the movie Three Idiots, he said that pankha hai, wo hai, machine hai, sir. I want to say that, if you see your mother, if you see your boss, if you see your supervisors, if you see anybody who means something to you, who is trying to add value to your life, is a leader. There is many a times when we get lost in this definition of leadership. We keep thinking that a leader has to do something outstanding to really make themselves so-called leader or a manager. Two things. One is, of course, I would say that in today's world, a manager has to be a leader as well. You do clinical stuff in office or at home or even otherwise, but the very fact that your team has to perform well, has to really take the opportunity in the domain they are, that depends on how strong you are as a leader, because your job as a leader is not just to lead followers or more people around you, but it is to create more leaders around you. That is what the organization pays you for. In my blog, which is Dr. Sonali Datta Banerjee, in that every day I discuss some aspects of leadership, some aspects of how you can really add a lot of value to your profession as well as your environment. So the objective here as well is to enrich each one of our fellow colleagues as well as ourselves into what leadership can change in the paradigm that we live in, right? So that's why we call it the leadership demystified, various episodes around that. So that's the primary part of it. And of course, the various attributes or competencies which a leader should have. So, case in point, if we are talking about, managing your team, if you're talking about coaching your team, if you're talking about mentoring your team, each one of these are very, very critical when it comes to contributing as a leader within a system. Let's look at a mother. Would you say a mother is a leader? Very often we kind of get this diluted because we say, okay, mother is doing her job, she's in a relationship, she's not a leader, right? Of course she's a leader, she's the CEO of your home, right? So whether your mother has been doing this job earlier or not, the moment she comes into this role, she has to deliver every day to ensure that people around her are getting motivated to do what they're supposed to do. So whether it's her children, whether it's her relatives, she has to ensure that every person is knit beautifully to make a family successful. Coming to a corporate environment, if you look at your boss, very often, there is a carrot and stick game going on that we have all experienced, having been part of corporate for so many years. But does that really serve the purpose as a leader? That's again a big question to be answered, right? Because what happens is the moment you start playing the carrot and stick game, life changes, everything changes, because your employees don't trust you anymore. They say, yeah, you told me last appraisal, this appraisal, I'm going to get a promotion, but it didn't happen. I don't know in the subsequent appraisal discussion if it shall happen or not. So I think that, like to understand certain basic principles, which is not given or articulated in maybe all encyclopedias or great leadership books, but which you see from close quarters of your life. When you talk to your parents or when you talk to your supervisors, when you look at your leaders and get inspired to be a leader, that is when the true essence of leadership is understood. That's when we realize that, yes, this is how we can make a difference. This is how, in the game plan, I have a role to play. Right? I love the book that Robin Sharma has written, which is called A Leader Without a Title. A lot of us, including me, in our corporate lives have experienced this, that our promotion is our so-called, witness or endorsement to our various capabilities, right? If we have got the promotion, we are a great employee. If we have not got the promotion, we feel dejected. We feel that our work has not been recognized. So I would say that, in this book, Robin Sharma talks about various things by which we can really show up as leaders every single day. Case in point, reaching a meeting on time, or having what discussion that you would like to have with your team members worked out, right? Because very often we walk into a meeting without having any kind of nuances of what is it that we are discussing, so that we can keep the meeting time short and crisp and get the maximum value out of it, right? So these things go a long way in terms of not only creating more leaders around us, but it also helps us to progress in our personal journeys as a leader. So I think, it's really a nice journey. And I would like to talk in each episode about some people who I have been inspired by, and some of who you also know them from the industry, some of who we do not know, because sometimes, our personal experiences, these people are not stalwarts as leaders to be written books upon, but they have made a huge difference in our life. I want to tell a short story here. Many years ago, one of my colleagues, he was ex-Microsoft, and he was telling me this story about a domestic person, what should I say, worker who used to support a family. She said that, like, I'm working with this family. I'm very happy with the kind of journey that I have. These people are really nice, and I'm enjoying my work. So she was asked that, okay, what do you feel good about? So she said that I am attached to this family, and my role is to see and ensure that every person in the family is happy and they are able to really focus on what they want to achieve in life, and a little role that I can play in context to, cooking for them, in context to really making their lives a little more simpler. And this story actually touched my heart, that we all think that we are going to make history and geography change everything around us by our contributions, right? Yet we forget that we can just start at home, start where we are. Maybe, like, by looking after the garden which is around us, or looking after a family, or looking after our personal teams at workspace. We all think that I want to do something great. I need to have a grand title. I need to have something amazing happening around us, right? So, this is what blocks us from living our true potential as a leader. So, I think, each episode is going to be a narrative, not only about certain competencies, but it's also going to touch upon those leaders who have made an impact in our lives. And what are these episodes, or what are these interactions or anecdotes which we can relate to and learn from as leaders? How can we generate a sense of accountability towards our teams, and groom them towards something amazing that is there around us? Yeah. So with that, I kind of would like to close from my side. If there is any question, I'm happy to respond.